Oh yeah, we are. That's the cathedral. Woo! Dwayne, look at that! Woo! Here we are.
Okay, now we have to climb it.
In 2014, we walked the Camino with 3 couples. In 2016, only 2 couples walked the Camino Portuguese. In 2017, due to injuries, there's only me and my wife who walked from France to Spain. Some would argue that you cannot walk with your spouse as there will be a lot of friction that can start a fire. We don't believe that, but you have to watch to see if that's true. This Camino video might be a little bit different than other Camino videos as we consider it as a pilgrimage, not just as a hiking trail. We have really beautiful hiking trails back home, but Camino is so much more than hiking. We will also include a Camino primer series that we think is important for future pilgrims, or even current pilgrims. We will have a topic for every day that we are walking the Camino that we think will be helpful for you, or for everyone somehow. Have you ever wondered if you will ever go hungry in the Camino? When the season changes in the Camino, and so does the number of pilgrims walking. So the economics of Camino also changes. Vamos!
Chicken. Pollo.
It's okay, we're not gonna do harm. Stay with Mama, you might get lost. I miss this. Can I have this in Texas?
What time do you usually eat in the Camino?
Bye-bye, chicks.
Hungry. Cock-a-doodle-doo! How long I hear that noise, you know?
Oh, it's nice, Padre. We don't hear this in the city anymore. It's so...
The bad path. The hens are around. I feel like I'm in my state. But if you again chickens, big chickens.
Now, this is the perfect size to be cooked.
Be careful, chicken. Just taking your cooking heat.
It's not hard, but I'll leave you for the next Camino. We are on the way to Saria.
Saria, I think. Español, Saria.
November the 5th. Today is Sunday. This is the day. Whew. Rapido, mi amor, rapido.
Oh, no. If I twist my ankle, are you gonna carry me?
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying it on video so that I would remember next time what that means. Whew. Let's try Tricastela. We don't see Saria yet. But we'll get there.
Walking through Galicia is one of my favorite parts of the Camino. It has the feel of an Irish countryside, but very Spanish and everything else. We walk along rolling hills.
Look at this, it's beautiful.
After a while, Pia the Korean caught up with us. We haven't seen her after Zofra, so it was some sort of a reunion. The Camino is indeed one big family.
I will be here when the sun is much more shining. Sing, babe, sing. Sing it. You know how to sing that. 共学在青春中的家乡。I will be here. I will be here. Con xin xin trên gió rẻ nhẹ nhàng, con xin chê đi nhau chê, con ya gì chê, nhớ ra trong xin chê. Pia.
I went yesterday.
Oh, you met
yeah.
yesterday. Yeah,
In the
that's right.
Supermercado.
Supermercado.
We got to Saria, where some say as much as 80% of the pilgrims who gets to Santiago is coming from. They start their walk here because it is 100 kilometers approximately, a little more than that, from Santiago. We got there before lunch. It is the minimum distance that you can walk to have a Compostela certificate. We decided to skip lunch to attend Mass in the 13th century Monasterio de la Magdalena. It was a beautiful Mass attended by the locals. After the Mass, we decided to continue walking, hoping that there's a bar somewhere on the route to have some food. Dead wrong. We did not find a single bar open. I guess this happens when the weather starts to cool down. There's not a lot of pilgrims walking. So we walked the whole day with an empty stomach. The worst part is the Camino perfume can be smelled everywhere, as there's a lot of cattle herding farmers in this area. I call it the Camino perfume because it was prevalent whenever there are farm animals. Nevertheless, after climbing and descending rough trails with unstable stones, we found the views of the valleys to be extremely rewarding.
We just left Saria.
There? Saria?
Yeah.
No, that's not Saria.
Oh, it's not Saria.
Yes. Over here.
No, she said we just left Saria, so not that one. But she's pointing at that one.
There's no hard and fast rule in the Camino when it comes to eating. You eat whenever you're hungry and if there is an open bar or grocery. You can carry food with you, but you need to consider the weight as you are going to carry them for long distances. But we are very careful not to run out of water though. We finally got to Ferreiros and stayed on the same albergue where we stayed when we did our first Camino in 2014. It was a modern albergue sitting on the top of a hill. We also met up with Duen, our Thai Kiwi friend. We added our lone Spanish friend Carmen in our group. There are 6 of us now coming from all over the world. During dinner, we experienced one of the kindest and hospitable tradition of this area. We ordered carne de ternera a la piedra, or veal meat, which is very delicious. After one plate, if you say you are not full yet, they will keep serving you until you are satisfied. So they did. It's a good excuse to eat more because we haven't had a formal meal the whole day. Their tradition says that They take it as a sadness in their hearts if their guests are not fully satisfied and happy in their care. In the Camino, you will most likely meet different pilgrims with different social engagement levels. Today we met someone who's probably a little bit in the extreme. It was a little bit too extreme that it became the funniest encounter we have in the Camino. Vamos!
I guess we're sleeping outside. You're still a good time, even in the cold.
What do you use to document your Camino?
A car's coming, I stop you. You know I always got you. You know I always got you. Push you to the side, even if it means that I die. I wouldn't hesitate about it, wouldn't even think about it. Sign, I really love you. Push you to the side, even if it means that I die.
Oh, that's a consulting. Only
Good morning.
3.5 kilometers.
Happy Monday.
Buenos dias.
We're
¿Qué tal?
walking with a couple of friends today. We had a heavy breakfast. We're on our way to Puerto Marin. That's Duan on the right, Carmen, and Pia, and Padre, and mi amor. And look at the fog.
Huh? What time is it? 10 o'clock.
I know Puerto Marin is about an hour.
Yeah, 3 kilometers. 3.5. No, not 3 hours. No, 3.5 kilometers. Okay. What is it?
Spiderweb. Yeah, but a silver spiderweb.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh,
What?
sorry.
Wow.
A silver one colored, not the dark.
Where's the spider?
Your hair. It's wow.
Okay.
No, is that hail? What is that? Wow. Come on, why can't I take photos of this beauty? Am I too close?
Oh, so beautiful. Let me see there. A video. Okay, let's see.
Out of our minds, I guess we're sleeping outside. You're still a good time.
Our group had breakfast before leaving Ferreiros in the same place we had dinner the night before. After that, the Coche group was born. Coche means car. It was called Coche because of a lot of walking at the stage. It's on an unused paved road, but sometimes a car comes from behind so that the first Camino, or caminante, or walker who sees it, shouts Coche to warn the pilgrims of an oncoming traffic behind the pilgrim, shouting so the pilgrims can be alerted and can avoid accidents. In turn, the next pilgrim who hears it echoes it back to the person ahead of him to warn him or her. This is done until the last guy in the group hears it. To get to Puerto Marin, we have to cross the new bridge on the Rio Minho. It is one of the highest in Camino Frances. The views are spectacular as you cross the bridge, but I would not know because I'm afraid of heights, so I always run in the middle of the road every time I cross this bridge. The picturesque Puerto Marin is a popular stop for pilgrims. It has more than 200 beds among the 10 albergues. It was also a very important military town in the 12th century as it was manned by the Knights Hospitaliers. Just at the entrance of the old town, a sign that reads Paseño a Paseño is on a wall in one of the buildings. It literally means step by step, a great reminder for pilgrims. Carmen wanted us to get inside the 12th century fortress church but the priest is nowhere to be found. So we just decided to have lunch at Casa Garcia, which has a very good view of the river, before continuing.
We are in Ligonde. Ligonde! Woohoo!
We made it!
Woohoo! Camino family! Woohoo! Blue sky, no rain. Woohoo!
Sleeping outside. Still a good time. Get out the road, I told you. A car's coming.
To document our Camino, I use a small notebook with a small pen because they're very light and very handy. I also use a video cam that has a stabilizer or gimbal capability. I also use my phone often to document our Camino.
Push it to the side.
In Lagunda, right before Airexe, which is our stop, we stopped at a municipal albergue to check it out if we could stay there. Since most beds are already taken, all 6 of us decided to move farther to the next town. An old Spanish-Australian pilgrim sitting outside blurted, "Where are you going?" referring to us. "Is there something wrong here or you just don't like us? Why are you leaving?" "I guess you don't like us." "Oh, you are just so picky." And that's what she said. We left, laughing so hard, didn't get to answer her back. We just wanted a less crowded albergue, but the old lady took it personally. Indeed, the next albergue has 0 pilgrims, very clean, and right next to a restaurant. We took the private albergue next to it. We had a good dinner, laughing and sharing stories. In our neck of the woods, there's a saying that goes like a walk in the park. Today, we saw somebody who literally walks like that. She could very well walk for just 5 miles a day for the way she walks. But what is the proper reaction for those who walk 800 kilometers already? How do we deal with blisters and other illnesses in the Camino?
One more layer.
Yeah, inside.
It's okay. Wow, that's beautiful.
The fog that morning created a very surreal effect on the green fields of the mountains of Galicia. For the first time in the Camino, frost covered the roads and nature. It was 32 degrees Fahrenheit and was very cold, that we had to use our gloves for the first time. After walking for some time, the warmth in our bodies created a comfortable feel inside our jackets. Thus, we were not feeling cold anymore. We also walked with some beautiful young ladies from UK and Australia. Another picturesque town that we passed by is the small village of Portos. It has a unique distinction of being the official burial sites of the many Knights of the Order of St. James. that dates back to 1184. The cemetery is right next to the Romanesque Iglesias del Salvador. The Gothic frescoes inside the church, which we did not get to see, is rare in Spain.
Yeah, even 1 or 2 seconds.
Thank you.
Wow!
Oh,
I can't see anything anymore.
such a winter photo. That's beautiful.
Morning. It's November the 7th. It's about 8 something. 8:30 maybe. We just had our breakfast and we're walking in the fog in a freezing temperature.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Bonita. Uh-huh. The moon.
Carmen. Carmen. Someone picked up your trash and put it here again.
The next medium-sized town on this stage is Palas de Rey, which literally means Palace of the King, which is now non-existent. There's no more palace. We were surprised to see that there were several bars open this early in the morning in this town, so we decided to have our desayunos. For the first time, I had pulpo for breakfast. Pulpo is an octopus dish that is served with potatoes. It's also the unofficial Camino food. We had a stamp inside the San Terzo church where I think it was the parish priest who stamped our peregrino credential. The rain continues to this day. It was raining every day since we left Rabanao, so by this time we are used to it. Carmen stayed behind in a bar where we rested because apparently she wasn't feeling well. She didn't really explain well. If she did, we would, stay and help her or something like that. We didn't know this until 2 days later. This is also the point where we met a lot of Irish pilgrims. We passed by a pretty Korean girl who seemed to be walking like she's walking in a park, very leisurely and slowly. It was kind of weird for us who have been walking for almost 800 kilometers by now to see someone taking their time in their Camino. We finally got to a very rainy Melide and had pulpo again for dinner. Again, because some say Melide has the best pulpo in the whole Galicia, which is why we had to try it. It was indeed delicious. Only by God's grace that I haven't had any blisters up to this point in my Camino for the last 3 Caminos. But the wife uses Compede, and the best way is to ask the local pharmacist on what to do with your blisters. You can see a pharmacist in the Camino that has big green cross as a sign. For a pilgrim, you have a certain budget limits for an albergue, but sometimes you just have to pay because you have no choice for an albergue. Are the albergues in the Camino worth their time? Why do pilgrims carry a pilgrim passport, and what's the history of the Compostela certificate?
The eyes are so sharp to find even little things.
Right, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, Arzu.
As we get closer to Santiago, we encountered a lot of pilgrims. We met some happy Australians. We also had some rakso or raho pork loin for lunch. The walk was mostly through vineyards, forests, and wooded areas. We enjoyed praying and sharing stories together.
Tia Dolores Beer Garden.
Oh boy, it's so wonderful.
Wow, look at these bottles. They have everyone's where they're from.
Ooh, 2017. Hola.
So it's a Christmas tree. Hola. I know.
That's the same bottle.
Cool beans. So they grow in trees, it's true. They grow in trees. The beer.
Yeah.
So we've been seeing this grapevine with the grapefruit that's just being left on the vine.
That is just nuts.
So I feel that it's just a waste. It would have been a good one.
Just before Salceda, we decided to detour to an apparent shortcut to a supposedly nicer albergue. We found a nice albergue, but it was closed for the season, so we cut through an open field to get to another albergue right next to a busy road. The young hospitalera who was there was pretty straightforward when we arrived at that albergue and charged us €12 for a bed, For a pilgrim, that's quite steep, especially that we found most of them are like 6 to 8 euros. But we were so tired to find another albergue anyway.
Vineyard and grapes after grapes after grapes after grapes. So we're walking along grapevines and what have you. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. We've tasted some of them and it tastes really good. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Ooh. Grapes, yeah.
A Compostela is a document issued by the Cathedral of Santiago to certify the successful completion of the pilgrimage to Santiago. These started in the 16th century. In order for you to obtain a Compostela, a pilgrim is supposed to present a pilgrim passport stamped daily with the last 100 kilometers stamped twice daily. You can get stamps from churches, albergues, bars, restaurants, and others. You can order Camino pilgrim passports online and ahead of time. Do you believe that some legends have some traces of truth in it? There's a lot of story of St. James in the Camino. It may not necessarily be St. James himself, but the story could still be true. The protagonist may have changed, but the story is the real protagonist.
Early in the morning of the 9th, the day before we
Over the centuries, many miracles have happened in Monte de Gozo. One of the famous ones happened in 1080 AD. That year, 30 men from Lorraine set out their Camino towards Santiago. 29 of the 30 took an oath to help each other no matter what. Just before crossing the Pyrenees, one of them fell terribly ill. His companion took care of him. After a while, the 28 men who promised to take care of him abandoned him because he was dragging them down slowly. It is taking them a lot more time to cross the Pyrenees than usual, so they abandoned the effort of helping him in the town of Saint Michel. Only the one who did not take the oath stayed behind with the sick pilgrim to help him, and they promised to help each other as long as they lived. The next day, the sick one felt a little better, so they tried to climb the mountain pass again. Unfortunately, the sick man died while attempting to conquer the mountain pass. Now feeling alone and scared because of the Basque robbers in the area, the healthy pilgrim prayed for the intercession of St. James. Almost immediately, a knight on a horse appeared in the middle of the night. The knight asked, "What does the pilgrim want?" The pilgrim said he just wanted to give his friend a Christian burial, but could not do it in the middle of the Pyrenees. The knight ordered the pilgrim to put his dead friend at the back of his horse and also ordered him to climb up. They drove all night long, and when the morning comes, the knight told the pilgrim to get off with his dead friend. He told him to ask the canons or the clergy in the cathedral to give his friend the proper Christian burial. The knight also told the pilgrim to tell his 28 other companions, whom he will meet in Leon on the way back from Santiago, to repent and turn away from their sins. Curious where he is at the moment, the pilgrim turned away from the knight just to see the spires of the Cathedral of Santiago. He was moved with joy knowing that he is just a few miles away from Santiago. It's actually at Monasterio de Monte de Gozo. As he turned around to thank the knight just completely disappeared and was nowhere to be found with no trace at all. The pilgrim found himself alone, bewildered. The pilgrim realized that the knight could be St. James himself, or maybe it was St. Michael the Archangel, or maybe he was just a real knight sent by St. James. But whomever it is, there's one thing for sure. It was indeed the miracle of the Camino.
Nine-year-old me
Uh-huh.
around Leon.
Oh.
We'll go around the Camino. I'll ask her to follow.
We saw two families. One family was
Good morning. We are leaving Monte di Gozo.
careful, it's covered. No, the leaf is covering the.
I saw a 2.5-year-old child doing the Camino.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the first 5 kilometers, she walked and then said, I'm not walking any longer. So her parents bought a kind of like a bookstore. And they did all the work. It was a decision.
Los últimos kilómetros. The last kilometers. We're leaving Monte di Gozo. It's a little bit drizzly. It's still a beautiful day considering it's November. So here we are. There's the gang. That's Carmen, Duen, Eileen, Father Justin, and myself.
Finally, we are on the last day of our Camino Frances. As in any day in Galicia, it started with a bit of rain and an overcast sky. After all the physical and emotional pain, the arguments and the fights, the frustrations, the moments of almost deciding to quit, the tears, the sadness, the joy and happiness, the sweet and funny moments, the soul-searching, the tapas, the famous Spanish foods, friends we made, the many languages spoken in the Camino, the stories we heard, the kindness of the locals, the communal meals, the holy masses we attended, the prayers we said, the rosaries we uttered, the silence with only the sound of boots trudging, the views and the beauty of God's creation, the history and the architecture of both the quaint little villages of northern Spain as well as the famous cities of the Compostela cities, the magnificent chapels, the churches, the basilicas, and the cathedrals. It has now come to an end. We found out that our Camino was a pilgrimage and an adventure.
Oh, is this the monastery?
Alright. Bienvenido
Where are we staying?
a Santiago. Oh, let me check. I don't know. No, we have to find the cathedral first before we can say.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we are. That's a cathedral. Woo! Dwayne, look at that! Woo! Here we are.
Okay, now we have to climb it.
Oh, that's where we stay. Hospederia.
Y'all doing a walk?
Yeah. Oh, we just arrived.
Coming over here.
Babes, we're staying here. All right. How do we do this? Are we gonna?
Okay.
We'll see each other on 12 noon on the right-hand side of the nave.
Right hand.
Should we go a bit early because the lady said
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
11:30.
Yeah,
What time
11:30.
is it? We're just gonna.
What time is it now?
Yeah.
10:42. Should we go?
Yeah, 11:30. Yeah. We'll just drop our bag and then we'll see you. where are we gonna see them?
Yeah, right hand of the
Right way.
the right wing of the altar.
Okay.
If you go to the altar, you face the altar right hand side.
Okay, perfect.
All right. See you then.
11:30.
Okay.
All right, bye. Hey man, these guys, we saw them. 1 year.
15 October.
34 days is good. It's like an interview.
Every time.
Yeah, interview. You're in video. 1 year.
Let's go to Fatima.
He's going to Fatima. Are you walking to Fatima?
Are you walking? He's walking to Fatima.
Wow, amazing.
From the Philippines. And I got a new tattoo.
He got a tattoo. We're thinking of getting one.
Yes, a good place.
We attended Mass and went for confession. We also visited the tomb of Santiago de Compostela, one of Jesus Christ's best friends. This may be the third time that we finish a Camino, but the feeling is still the same. It's a mixed emotion of excitement and sadness. Excitement because we're at the end of our long journey. Sadness because of exactly the same reason. Because our journey has now ended and we did not want it to end. We also delivered all the prayer petitions that have been asked for us to carry for this whole Camino at this cathedral. At the end of the day, we rested our tired body after walking close to 591 miles or 951 kilometers, 1,215,319 steps in 32 walking days. Today we reached the Santiago Cathedral with an excitement beyond description, not because of a physical achievement, but a sense of life-changing event that hinges on the message of Saint John Paul II. And the tomb of the apostles, we also want to receive again Christ's mandate, "You shall be my witnesses right to the ends of the earth," Acts chapter 1, verse 8. Saint James was the first to seal his witness of faith with his own blood. For all of us, he is an example and an excellent teacher. Santiago de Compostela is not only a sanctuary, it is also a route, a closely woven network of pilgrimage roads. The Santiago Trail was for centuries a pathway to conversion and an extraordinary witness to faith. Along this way arose visible monuments to the pilgrims' faith, churches, and hospices. Saint John Paul II.
And you got it for free. No $15.
Tomorrow is the donativo. Tomorrow is the $15. You sure you don't want to borrow Ate's socks?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
It's on video. Oh my goodness, look at that.
I know, it's beautiful.
Santiago de Compostela. on the top.
To see us here, to see people watching us.
You should tell them to go here.
Look at this. It is
Wait,
so
there's people
beautiful.
there, oh.
I know, on the rooftop. That's what we're gonna pay for tomorrow. To see us here, to see people watching us.
You should tell them to go here so they can watch us.